I need to get into sub 5 minute mile shape in the next 49 days. Wait. Okay, wait, let me explain myself. Like many ex-high school and college athletes, I got to my late 20s and noticed some subtle but significant changes to my athletic ability. And I'm not just talking about running slower. Now that I'm in my early 30s, I can't run as fast as I could in my peak years, yes. But I'm also starting to notice other things. I have to work harder and harder to maintain an ever-diminishing speed and endurance, and my body can't handle the training volume that it once did. I get hangovers that last 5 times as long as they used to, even though I'm drinking 5 times less than what I used to. My back gets sore if I do too much yard work, and my butt gets sore if I don't do enough yard work. And while I'm by no means unhealthy, I'm just finding it a little bit harder to cope with getting older. So, like many semi-washed up athletes in this situation, I'm always looking for challenges or new goals to help me stay motivated to train and to fight back against those byproducts of aging. And this time I want to jumpstart my fitness by starting a streak of consecutive years in which I run 1 sub 5 minute mile. Wouldn't it be cool to run 1 sub 5 minute mile for the next 10 years? Or 20 years, does that sound better? Okay, so I looked this up and the oldest person to run a sub 5 minute mile was 65. So if I want to get to that level, I'm gonna have to continue the streak for the next 32 years. But I haven't even started this streak. I haven't run a sub 5 minute mile this year. When I look back at my training on Strava, I think the fastest mile I've run was a 6:16 that I did just a few days ago. Given that it's November 12th, you can now see what I mean when I say that I need to get into sub 5 minute mile shape in the next 49 days. But I haven't exactly been training that much. I sprained my ankle pretty badly in about March, and that took me out for a few months. Oh, and my wife and I just had our first baby at the end of September. So things are pretty hectic right now. This might be the worst shape I've been in the last 20 years. Illegal. So if ever there was a time to make excuses, it would be right now. Don't get me wrong, in past years, a sub 5 minute mile was not a huge stretch for me. While I was never a miler or a 1500 meter specialist, I do have a PR in the 1500 that's equivalent to about a 425 mile. And I do have a 5K PR that's slightly faster than 5 minute per mile pace. But it's been several years since I was in that kind of shape. Like I said a minute ago, the fastest mile I've run this year was a 6:16 just a couple of days ago. I think if I absolutely had to, I could probably run about 5:30 right now. And this is not so much to put the 5 minute mile on a pedestal, but more so just to see if I can get back to some kind of formal level of fitness and hold on to it for just a little while. But it will be fun to see if I can run a sub 5 minute mile in the next 49 days. There are just 2 rules that I'm going to follow. Number 1 is that I'm only running 4 days a week. It's just what I feel comfortable right now, coming off the ankle sprain and trying to take care of a newborn baby. Just not a ton of time for a huge mileage right now. And number 2 is that I'm prioritizing my longevity over the goal of achieving a sub 5 minute mile by December 31st. Yes, I want to do it this year, but if it takes me until next year to get into that kind of shape, I'm gonna listen to my body and do the right thing to make sure that I don't get injured. So there you go. I've got about 7 weeks to turn my 6:16 into 4:59.9. Follow along to see weekly updates on my training and progress. I am a running coach and I do have a science background, so I'm probably going to dive pretty deeply into my training. Who knows, maybe we'll all learn something.